full power of the dark side.
The ancient enemies of the Jedi Knights, the Sith Order, originated thousands of years before the Clone Wars, using the dark side of the Force to pursue their aggressive and evil ways. The earliest of their kind were brothers to the Jedi before they began to mine the hate, greed, and lies of the dark side. A period known as the 100-Year Darkness followed, and soon the Sith were born. One of the most notorious Sith was Darth Bane. The Jedi Master Yoda once traveled to the ancient Sith homeworld Moraband, where he encountered an apparent illusion in the form of the long-dead Bane.
Why do you come to my tomb, Jedi?
As well as other Sith warrior apparitions. In Bane's time, a millennium earlier, he developed the Rule of Two, ensuring that there would only be a master and an apprentice Sith Lord active at any given time.
I chose to pass my knowledge on to only one.
This was in response to the natural inclination of the Sith to fight and often kill each other, which left them weak in their battles with the Jedi. For 1,000 years, the Sith endured the shadows through the Rule of Two, but eventually Darth Plagueis emerged. While little is known about this mysterious figure, he's said to have learned to use the Force to create life and prevent death. And yet, in time, Plagueis was murdered by his apprentice, Darth Sidious, also known as Senator and then Chancellor Palpatine. Sidious would soon come to achieve the great Sith dream of galactic conquest as Emperor, overseeing the transition of the Republic into the Empire.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Sidious burned through several apprentices over the ensuing years, including the fearsome Darth Maul, who famously dueled the Jedi Knights Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi during the Battle of Naboo. Another of his apprentices was Darth Tyranus, also known as the former Jedi Count Dooku.
Sense great fear in you.
There have also been several Dark Force users who've never actually become or even aspired to be Lords of the Sith. This includes Dooku's one-time apprentice Asajj Ventress. An apprentice to the apprentice, Ventress would have likely ascended to full Sith and attained the title of Darth had Dooku slain his master.
How predictable.
Trainees like this often operated in secret, waiting in the wings for the current Sith Master to be killed. Ventress came from the Night Sisters clan, a group of witches led by Mother Talzin.
You have heard of the Sith warrior, Darth Maul?
While she was the clan mother, Talzin was also literally the mother of Darth Maul and Savage Opress. It was Opress who served as Maul's apprentice after Maul was abandoned by his old master, Sidious.
You must have your revenge, my brother.
He was ultimately killed by the Dark Lord, however, who feared the power of the Dathomirian brothers. The son was a Force Adept, said to embody the dark side while his sister personified the light. Their father was the balance between the two.
We will destroy the Sith and the Jedi.
And Dooku isn't the only Jedi to fall to the dark side. Pong Krell betrayed his comrades when he foresaw the end of the Republic.
You've all been my pawns.
But his clone troopers discovered his betrayal at the Battle of Umbara, and he was soon killed by one of his own men. And Barriss Offee came to believe that her fellow Jedi were the true villains of the Clone Wars. In protest, she coordinated a bombing of the Jedi Temple that killed several of her colleagues.
The only thing the Jedi Council believes in is violence.
Quinlan Voss was a Jedi who fell to the dark side as Count Dooku's apprentice. He would be redeemed tragically when his former lover Asajj Ventress sacrificed herself to save him.
Yeah, I read the briefing about that mess.
Of course, Anakin Skywalker's journey to the dark side and his transformation into Darth Vader is at the very heart of the Star Wars saga, just as his black suit and red-bladed lightsaber are the basis for the many Sith who followed since A New Hope.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
In the years following the Jedi Purge of Order 66, the Emperor created the Inquisitorius, initially led by the Grand Inquisitor. Tragically, this figure had once been a Jedi himself, sworn to protect the Order as a temple guard, but that devotion was perverted and destroyed by Vader and the Emperor.
At last, a fight that might be worthy of my time.
The Inquisitors were Dark Force Adepts, who were trained by Vader to hunt down the scattered few Jedi who had survived the Purge.
You would question me, seventh sister?
Only when you're wrong. Fifth. brother.
Meanwhile, when the rebel Ezra Bridger visited the blighted world of Malachor, he discovered an ancient Sith holocron that projected the voice of an apparently long-dead Sith Lord known only as the Presence.
Knowledge is power.
This Presence slowly worked to seduce young Ezra to the dark side as well, though the boy's ultimate fate remains unknown at this time.
When did Kanan teach you that?
He didn't.
No new Sith are known to have emerged in the decades that followed, and the Order seems to have ended with the demise of Darth Vader and the Emperor. But with the emergence of Vader's grandson Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, a new dark side threat arrived in the Star Wars galaxy.
I could show you the ways of the Force!
As a member of the mysterious Knights of Ren, Kylo, with his comrades, filled the hole left by the end of the Sith Lords, falling under the command of Snoke, supreme leader of the First Order.
The Resistance must be destroyed before they get to Skywalker.
Where the story of these new Dark Force users will go next remains to be seen, as does whether or not Lucasfilm will eventually decide to integrate any beloved expanded universe characters into canon. These include figures like Darth Revan, who was introduced in the Knights of the Old Republic game and almost made it into an episode of the Clone Wars series. Mara Jade was an assassin for the Emperor who later found redemption and love with Luke Skywalker. Joru Sabaoth was a mad Jedi clone who nearly defeated the combined forces of Luke, Han, Leia, and their allies. Shirel was created for the Ewok TV movie The Battle for Endor before being retconned into the Night Sisters. Ultimately, it's clear the legacy and impact of the Sith will live on for many years to come. Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
It is time to complete his training.